Hey guys, it's Cherish and Damian Pereira here with the Pereira team of Keller Williams Realty Gulf Coast. And we wanted to just tell you a little bit about ourselves and why and how we got into real estate.
In 1999, I actually moved to US, and it was super exciting and frightening all at the same time. Left my family behind, but I knew that it was for a good cause. Met my family here, got married, have 3 kids today. And in the process, when they were growing up, like I was back and forth from Brazil like every week, 2 weeks there, 1 week here. Cherish was basically, taking care of the kids and the house and everything. And I was actually working in Brazil all that time. And it was awesome, but that season ended and we moved back to our business here. And I discovered that there was more than I wanted to do in real estate and became an investor. And with that, it was also an opportunity for me to become a realtor.
We had the opportunity to do something called Rules of Renovation, which you went to, attended, and learned a lot about how to get your flip going. And we made such a great profit and had such a great time doing that.
Yes, we did.
That we said, this is what we need to do.
8 years ago, I joined Keller Williams. It was one of the best decisions I made. It was so fun. Coming on board, it was like the company's vision is God, family, and business. Mm-hmm. That's basically one of the reasons why I immediately knew, like, yeah, this is for me. Everything that we do, it is God, family, and business. We don't just do family, or we're not just do business. We do God, family, and business. So it was fun. Love my job, love seeing like people be able to actually fulfill their dreams and watch them firsthand, walking out of the closing table with their keys in their hands, people they never thought possible, be able to own a house, and sellers that want to sell, be able to see God just move and sell quick. Many experiences to tell. And as I was doing this, first I did all by myself in the beginning as a single agent. It was kind of like managing about like 40 transactions a year on my own. Didn't have a transaction coordinator. It was a lot. Cherish joined to help me out with that. And she was like, oh, I love doing this. And I was like, why don't you go get your license? And then she joined me 3 years later.
I did. So I was hesitant at first because there's already a lot going on in our lives, but I prayed about it and I felt like, God spoke to me and told me it's part of my purpose. He took me to Genesis and he said, listen, what was the other commandment besides be fruitful and multiply? Was take dominion and subdue the earth.
Yeah.
And how can we subdue the earth or take dominion if we own no land? We don't have territory, right? And then he took me to Exodus and he said, what is the promise that I gave to my children? It was the land flowing with milk and honey. Mm-hmm. And so he told me, what if this business is not so much about the transaction, but more about you being a part of my purpose to bring my children into the legacy, the inheritance. That's our inheritance.
And you were seeing that every single day in our business. Every single day.
That is a part of his purpose and his plan for us.
Yeah.
Is to take dominion and subdue the earth. And part of that is owning land. And so many clients of ours have their parents never owned land. They'd never owned land. And so we got to be a part of their story. Yeah. And buying the first piece of land that their family owned. And it's a legacy they get to pass on to their children.
First home.
Their first home.
First home, yeah.
And so for me, that's when I could say, okay, Lord, because it never was about the business. And the paycheck is great. I mean, I'm not mad about that. But the truth is that we have so much joy in being a part of people's lives. Yeah. And we make lifelong friends in doing this. You get to know them. We get to pray with them. We build relationship. And for me, that's what it's been mostly about. And our kids get to see that. And so one day our goal is to not just help others, but also to buy a property for our kids and teach them how to do this so that we're continuing our own legacy as well.
Yeah.
So that's a big part of our story.